I'm Eric Parker. This morning on CT24, Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam. We're asking him about the plan to tackle budget shortfalls in the city's school system, about a recent call with the president, and we'll have him look back at his first 6 months on the job. Also this morning, helping homeless veterans get off the streets and on a path to peace. Our friend Vince Santilli from Homes for the Brave is here. And Connecticut has launched an oyster trail. A local oyster farmer will tell us all about it. It's all ahead this Sunday, July 14th. CT24 starts right now.
From WFSB3, this is CT24 with Eric Parker.
Good morning. We begin our broadcast this morning with Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam. He's nice enough to join us in Studio A. Welcome.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Last time we had you on here, I think you were just getting ready to be sworn in.
Yeah.
You've been on the job for 6 months. I want to talk about a lot of specific topics, but let's just start from 40,000 feet.
Sure.
How's it been?
It's been amazing. I tell people all the time it's the best job in the world. You know, we have challenging times in the city of Hartford, and we've got a lot to look forward to. I'm really excited about the future. But, you know, even on those tough days, I just feel it's such a privilege to get to do this job, to serve the people I love and the city that I love, and to be there at the table as we make these tough choices.
I want to talk a lot about the city and a lot about the policies and politics, but let's start with national politics, because you were on a call this past week with President Biden, and it was organized by a mayor's group, a 45-minute call. There's been so much talk about the president and his condition.
Sure.
Tell us about that call and what was said.
Well, he said a lot of the same things he said publicly, that it was a bad night, that, you know, he still has a lot he plans to do in the 4 years ahead. He talked about his accomplishments, and, you know, the president's popular among mayors. When it came to federal aid, a lot of that aid went directly into cities and to places where it could be used, and I think that was popular. You know, it was a good call. I think there were some positive reactions. At the end of the day, as mayor of the city of Hartford, as a resident of this country that I love, I'm going to support the Democratic nominee for president. And I think it's a really important election. I think it's really important that we get this one right. And so I'm going to support the Democratic nominee.
And just one more on that topic. The governor, who was an early Biden supporter, was a little more tepid and said, you know, I worry about the nominee playing defense, and that's not a winning strategy. Coming off that call and getting to hear from President Biden himself, did you share those concerns that Governor Lamont has said?
Look, he was really good on that call. I obviously watched the debate like many other Americans and was concerned about the debate. But at the end of the day, the choice to me is so stark that whoever the Democratic nominee is going to be a lot better than what we have coming down the pike if Donald Trump gets back into office. And so as an American who cares about our democracy and the future of our democracy, I'm going to support the Democratic nominee.
All right, let's talk about the city of Hartford. The big issue looming over the city of Hartford, and has been for months, is the school system, and specifically the budget. There was at one point a talk of maybe 380 positions being cut. Tell us where that stands and what you're doing about it.
Well, you know, first we got together with the state, and thanks to the leadership of Matt Ritter and Doug McCrory, the education co-chair, and the rest of our state delegation, we were able to secure a combined $10.5 million, $5 million of which came from the state, and $1 million from the city, and $4 million out of this fund working in conjunction with the city and the treasurer's office and the Board of Ed. But the goal was to save teacher jobs, and we did that. Not a single teacher is going to be fired. There's certain non-certified positions within schools that are still being reduced, and that's something that I didn't want to see to begin with. But we're going to work with our schools to make sure that we get on a sustainable funding path for the future and for the years ahead.
Do you worry when you say something like sustainable funding path? So many people who follow the news closely have heard your predecessors say that. Yeah. Going back many predecessors. You have this new commission, and I want you to tell us about it, but how do you look your voters and the parents and the school board in the eye and say, no, but I'm going to figure this out, or my people are going to figure this out?
Well, and that's the core of it. We've heard from so many parents, teachers, kids, residents of this community. I'm a parent with kids who go to public schools. It matters to all of us so much, and we've heard you. And this is a response that I think people should be excited about. It's not just me. You know, we stepped in, we took this role, but leaders from the state have come together. The co-chair of the Education Commission, Committee, Jeff Curry, along with State Representative Josh Hall, are on this. We've got a representative from the Superintendent's Cabinet. We've got a representative from the Teachers Union, the Board of Ed, City Council, our major corporate community, the travelers is involved. I mean, we've got such a wide table that involves everybody who needs to be a part of that decision-making process at the table together. And that's the way we're going to go forward. It's being able to take the leadership role of taking the risk, and there's a reason that you mayors and other elected officials usually don't get involved in the education system, because it's nothing but a political loser. But you know, for our kids, for the sake of my kids and all of our kids, we decided we couldn't go and let this pass us by. We couldn't turn our heads, because we need to build a strong, sustainable school system in the city of Hartford. And for this generation, for generations to come, that's what we're doing. We're all at the table here trying to work on one solution that we can then all work on implementing together.
And just quickly before we move on, the 6 months this group has, and they're going to give you some recommendations. Is that the plan?
That's right. So they're going to meet for 6 months. They're going to try to solicit input from the community. We're probably going to build out some committees, and so this group will grow over the course of that 6 months, and then come up with a report. And then the goal is for, you know, we've got every party involved in this process and looking at the challenges and coming up with solutions, and then we've all got to hold hands and try to build this school system together. That we've all got to commit to going to the state, going to the city, going to private funders, and build a school system that's going to be healthy for years to come.
I want to talk about other stuff in the city. You've been on the job for 6 months. Anything that stands out from those 6 months that was either surprising or you didn't expect in this job?
Well, you know, this may not be exactly what you're asking, but one of the most surprising things to me is the level of support that we've gotten. And there have been tough times in the city, and there have been good things that we've seen in the future of this city. But from our residents, our community leaders, from the stakeholders, from the corporate community, across the board, I've just felt so uplifted by the support and love we've gotten, and the support we've gotten for this agenda. And I think we've seen a lot of people come together on education. We've seen a lot of people come together on supporting our youth. We've seen a lot of people come together on public safety issues in our city. We've seen a lot of people come together on community development within our city and investment in our city. And I think that's how we build a sustainable future. It's by connecting our neighborhoods to our city, connecting our residents to our city, connecting our community to each other, and recognizing the strength we have as a community, as a city. We have so much going for us, and I see that as those people coming together, those seeds of hope.
Only about a minute left, but tell me something we can look forward to in the next 6 months and beyond. Is there anything specific? We talked about the schools, obviously that's going to take up a lot of time, but anything specific, a big initiative you want to tell people about? We got like 30 seconds.
Yeah, you know, we've been engaging kids in a whole variety of ways, and it starts with the schools, but we've opened these night gyms. We created the Sports and Recreation Department in the city for the first time, and the Sports and Recreation Department, along with our Office of Violence Prevention and Department of Families and Children, work together to open these night gyms. So in 6 different neighborhoods across our city, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., kids have a safe place they can go and engage in activities, engage with folks who are there in violence prevention and working in trauma and mental health. And we had, on the first night, 500 kids sign up, and every day since then we've had hundreds more sign up and get involved. But we're engaging kids right where they are. We're building out in our downtown and across our neighborhoods a lot of developments to build growth, to build new businesses, small businesses, and housing around it. We've got UConn's downtown campus coming, and we're going to build around a college town in the city of Hartford. We've got so many college campuses, and we want this to feel like a college town to our residents. We've got so many exciting things coming in the future. I don't know that I have enough time to get to all of them, but you know, we're engaging the community in as many ways as we can, and growing as a city.
Tell you what, you're 6 months in. We'll just have you back, and you can talk about those
That'd be
things.
great.
How about that?
That'd be great.
We appreciate you being here, and we will have you back for the school things and all these other issues. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Coming up later in our Sunday Spotlight, Connecticut's Oyster Trail. And up next, helping struggling veterans to find housing and jobs. We're talking to the leader of a local group that's doing just that. That's ahead after the break. We'll be right back.